What's up, guys? Main Man Sui here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always. Well, welcome to the Mailman Sui, which is going to be my second channel now. So the reason there's a second channel is because I want a channel for all the variety I'll be doing on my stream. I'm not playing Tekken 8 exclusively anymore. We're playing some Tekken 7, we're going to play other old school legacy Tekken titles, and of course I'm playing all kinds of single player games. So instead of cluttering the main channel, the Dead by Moscow channel, you remember when I wanted to become a DVD content creator, I skipped that. And now we're going to have the Mailman Sui. It's a second channel where it's going to be unedited. It's going to be handled by me. Editor handles the main channel. I handle this channel, the second channel. And I can upload whatever the fuck I want without edits. So it's basically like my old school stuff, but with variety, and also gives me the freedom to at any point in time record a video on any topic I want, even Tekken related, and I can just yap away for hours, quite literally, and just upload it, and my editor doesn't even have to handle it. So it's going to be very, very long conversations on, like, you know, Tekken 7 tier list, maybe Tag 2 tier list, Tekken 1 tier list even. All kinds of yapping on anything really, and variety. So again, anything that's Tekken related on this channel, the Mailman Sui, it's basically going to be only for those of you who are like ultra nerdy and obsessed about Tekken like I am, like a Tekken 1 tier list, for example. So, but anyway, it's going to be really interesting, seeing where it goes. Maybe it doesn't lead anywhere. Maybe it's only 5 views per video. I mean, we'll see. But anyway, it's going to be interesting to try it out. And it's so fun for me to go back to the ways where I used to do it. I just hit record, hit stop record, and then I just upload it to my YouTube and just fire away. So, 2 channels. It's going to be interesting. But so anyway, without further ado, welcome to a Tekken 7 tier list. It's going to be interesting doing this with, we all play Tekken 8 now, right? And just looking back, I've played a lot of Tekken 7 the last week, or maybe it's even longer than a week. Tekken 8 has been kind of bad. Season 3 wasn't that cool. Didn't save Tekken really. It's still awful playing ranked. Half the roster is toxic as fuck. But it's funny, you come back to Tekken 7 and then you kind of remember how toxic this game could be as well, where half the roster in this game is also toxic as fuck. But we have very different problems, Tekken 8 versus Tekken 7. If you want to hear it in short, it's funny, like Tekken 8 with all of the negative PR, it's funny, it's a better balanced game than Tekken 7. And I know I'm going to sound insane for saying that, but bear with me. The best character, to me, balancing is like, how strong is the best character compared to the weakest character? And in this game, you have pretty much the strongest character ever in a Tekken game. And it's not even a Tekken character. It's Akuma, from Street Fighter. And it's funny how in this game, he doesn't play Tekken. He actually has some strong conventional Tekken tools that are accessible without his meter. He has his super combo meter from Street Fighter, Hadoukens, DPs, focus attack, EX. He has all of that, right? And Raging Demon, special cancels, 2D jump. I'm going to get into it. Just wait for it. I'm going to explain Akuma to you. But he basically doesn't play Tekken, is what I'm trying to say. And I think Bandai Namco, like the Tekken devs, they were very brave with this character. They really went like, you know what? We're going to have a guest character, and he's going to bring his entire core mechanic and game system into our game. They did that. Can you think of another time where devs did that? Like any fighting game developer? Any fighting game developer at all that chose to do that? Because I can't think of any. Street Fighter X Tekken, Capcom, the Mishimas, they were still playing Street Fighter in that game. So they were very brave. But to go back to my initial point, so Gigas is probably the weakest character in this game. There are other really weak characters. We're going to get into it. Like, I don't think Deviltion was that strong in the end. Dragunov is a weak character. Lars is not very good. But Gigas is the weakest character in Tekken 7. And between these two characters, you can fit like 2 Chrysler buildings or 50 jumbo jets. Like, it is very far away. Whereas when you go like with Tekken 8, you say Law maybe is the best character, or maybe Dragonov, something like that, and season 3, right? And then you go, who's the weakest character? Well, it's probably Devil Jin, according to me, and quite a few other pros. It would be Devil Jin. But the difference between those two is not as astronomical or big. Quite frankly, it's nowhere close to the difference in this game. And characters in this game, they are all over the place. So the balancing is very bad in Tekken 7. But the problem with Tekken 8 is that it's a poorly designed game. And that the balancing is better in Tekken 8. But it was achieved in a pretty lazy way. They did the same in Tekken 5. They gave everyone steroids. If everyone has a few dumb attacks, okay, you can actually argue, as a lot of people do, that, well, you have a chance with Devil Jin because he's got a huge hell sweep, right? That does 50 damage and heat does 70. He can still 50-50 you. He has strong evasion. Like, he has a few dumb things where you can go like, well, he can win, right? I would say he's not viable in pro play, or like, you play at Evo top 8, but you get the point. Like, everyone has some dumb shit in Tekken 8. Whereas in this game, it's like, if you're bad, you are super bad. And if you're good, you operate in a completely different realm to any other character in history, right? Like, maybe Tekken 5 Steve, you could argue is, maybe better than Akuma, but still there is an argument for Akuma, I think. But Tekken 8, better balanced in a lazy way, but a much less well-designed Tekken game. A more poorly designed Tekken game compared to Tekken 7. Tekken 8 tries to go aggression, but with heat, and I like heat. I don't mind it. Reminds me of Bloody Roar. I've told you guys many times. But poorly implemented in that too many characters, once they pop heat, they play literally single player, right? When you're defending, there's nothing you can do. It's a single player game. I think Lydia is the character that, like, better than any other character demonstrates how flawed design is in Tekken 8, where she pops heat with her install, mashes on your block, and you take copious, huge amounts of like chip damage. You are blocking and you are taking big damage. Already, is that a well-designed game, right? There's nothing you can do. In theory, there are gaps to exploit in our offense, but unless you have a hard read, you'd never want to press or try and interrupt her. You'll see even pros, they just hold the mix. And that's a lot of situations in Tekken 8. Hold the mix. Take chip damage. And then if you guess wrong on Lydia there, like say you try to duck, she'll kill you. And if you just stand guard over and over, she can unblockable you, right? Unseeable. So that's the difference between Tekken 8 and Tekken 7. So what I'm trying to tell you here with Tekken 7 is that it's a very poorly balanced game. So that's why we will have a tier list that is all over the place. That's why we have a straight up D here. Whereas I think the lowest you go in a Tekken 8 tier list will be like A. Or maybe you can call Devil Jin A-, something like that. But yeah, at the very top at S++, you will find Akuma. But that served as a short introduction as to Tekken 7 versus Tekken 8, and a little bit of background on Tekken 7 and how the balancing will work. And also, you know how Tekken 8, the name of the game is like aggression, and it's like heat. The core system mechanic of this game was counter hits. It was counter hitting. They really, and you gotta understand that even with Tekken 7, there was a bit of a power creep above Tag 2. We said the same thing. You know how we say about Tekken 8, like everyone got steroids? It was the same actually with Tekken 7. Characters were nowhere near as good in Tag 2. And then comes Tekken 7, and everyone's been doing some roids. People forget this, actually. But they went on roids, and when they did another cycle for Tekken 8, they got even stronger. So everyone felt quite strong in this game above Tag 2. But the name of the game was counter hits. Everyone got big counter hits and damage from them. So everyone has like a Magic 4 style attack, which if you don't know, this is something that was removed in Tekken 8, but it's basically everyone has access to a very fast counter hit launching high that most often is safe on block. So these will range from 11 frame startup speed, for example, on Law, his Magic 4, counter hit launches, right? To standing 4. Wow! Boom, like that. 11 frame counter hit launcher, safe on block. And certain characters, it will be 12 frames, like Paul, for example. And on certain characters, it's going to be like 13 frames. Steve here. So you can imagine how this changes the environment, right? Because in Tekken 8, due to that game's system mechanics, where it's like we remove most Magic 4s, pretty much all of them, suddenly it kind of stands out a lot, the fact that Steve's back one is 13 frames. In this game, Tekken 7, this didn't stand out as much. Well, it still stood out due to the fact that it's -1 on block when he goes into Flicker, right? Recovers fast on whiff, and then from Flicker, stance, he has options, right? So it still stood out a bit, but nowhere near as much as it does in Tekken 8. Because he can still do, stance from it. And it's 13 frames, almost uncontested, right? Whereas in this game, most characters have 11 to 12 frame counter hit launch. So they will actually not trade with back one, but they will interrupt the back one in the neutral frames, right? And for example, Lee, also 11 frame counter hit launcher, but in Tekken 8, he's the only one with an 11 frame counter hit launcher. Note that Anna has an 11 frame counter hit launcher, but he's the one with the confirmable one, where he does, 4-4. And you can visually confirm the counter hit and add the last hit of cardinal machine gun kicks. So, counter hitting is the name of the game in this game, to the point where even Kazuya has pretty absurd counter hitting. He has a 12 frame Magic 4, safe on block, that launches for super high damage. It sparks, stuns them, standing stun, and you can do electric back to 1. It's literally like 75 damage. Imagine Kazuya with a safe on block 12 frame Magic 4 that does full combo damage, like 75. Will do half your health bar, right, with a wall. And his back 4, his homing is a counter hit launcher as well. So that's pretty interesting, right? But I think we just get into the tier list now. I just wanted to give you, in my opinion, some interesting background story and lore on Tekken 7 versus Tekken 8. But so let's get into it. So we might as well start with these two. And I'm going to start by explaining why Akuma was the best character in the game. So it's hard to describe how strong Akuma is. He is basically a god in this game. He is the final boss and can do whatever he wants. And as I tried to touch upon before, he operates in a completely different realm compared to all the other Tekken characters. He is not a Tekken character in this game. And this is because he brings his Street Fighter system and mechanics into Tekken. He literally brings, Hadoukens, zoning, supers, one frame invincibility, phasing with his teleport, 2D jumps. A special cancel is the most important. Doing jab into DP, down 3 DP. Canceling normals into special moves. He brings this from Street Fighter into Tekken, which is interesting, right? But he brings that stuff into an environment that was not made for that stuff. It was not balanced for that stuff. it is very hard indeed to quantify the strength of a 2D jump in this game, in this environment, a game that has no anti-airs, where the neutral operates completely different to a Street Fighter game, right, or a 2D game. It's impossible to quantify and put into words the strength of simply being able to jump over attacks into a fly kick that is so plus on hit, like plus 17, and then that can link into a standing 2 into literally an 80% combo. An 80% combo. Can kill you, by the way. He can, if he's in rage and he gets the wall, he can straight up death combo you. This was done by Super Akuma, Avaishani, even in tournament play against the best players in the world. So it is very hard to quantify and put this into words, the strength of being able to jump over stuff in a game that has no anti-airs, no dedicated anti-airs. What players ended up trying to do was trying to step this stuff. Unfortunately, he had a very, very strong homing move from Demon Flip or his 2D jump. But also, people tried to jab to check this jump. Sometimes he would jump over the jab. A lot of characters had inconsistent jabs here, so people just tried to find whatever move these characters had to try and deal with this. But at the end of the day, it was, you couldn't deal with this. And then zoning with Hadoukens from far away, and characters can just try and sidestep this. We didn't have Hadoukens of our own. The special cancel made it so that suddenly when he had meter, a jab turned into a launcher for half your health bar. Like jab with a wall, it's more than half your health bar. Like so 10 frame jab combos into DP, and then he focus cancels the DP, Street Fighter 4 style, with 1 bar of meter, and now you are launched. This could also be done from a dick jab. So if you did a low and you're minus 10, so for example, Heihachi does his hell sweep. Akuma eats the first hit of a hell sweep, and then Heihachi continues with the low. And you know you block that low, and Heihachi is minus 10, Akuma could launch that. Like that is that's a pretty weird thing to say. Akuma could launch that. So again, that's hard to put into words how strong that is. And he also had a G-clef in that he did 1-1, at -1 on block, and if it counter hit, he would confirm this into a launch as well. This is also absurdly broken. And he also had the best low of all time when he had a meter. So he had a low down 3, which is 15 frame startup, but he can also do from crouch. This is very strong, down 3, that he links into Hadouken, special cancel. If he does this, this is natural for like 25 damage, -14 on block. But if he does this with a bar of meter, this now will be a full launch for like 50 damage on its own. No, more like 40 damage on its own. But, you know, it's a launcher that will deal half your health bar if there's a wall, like 60, 70%. If you block this, I'm not joking, if you block the down 3 into Hado, into FADC cancel, Akuma is +7 on block. So again, if you eat this poke speed low, you die. If you block it, he's +7. And then you have Demon Flip mix-ups, where he has an untechable throw that was cancer to deal with. He had, you know, his unblockable focus cancel, focus attack that launches for 1,000,000 damage that he could cancel. He had 1 frame invincibility with EX DP. This made it so that there are plenty of strings in the game, you know, that the jail on block meaning that, you know, for example, if Nina does forward 3 on your block, that's a high, or she does tap, tap, she kicks, like kick, kick. If you block that, there's nothing you can do. You can't duck the second hit. I think they've removed this in Tekken 8, right? But Akuma, or like, you know, a good better example, I think, is Alisa down 4, 1+2, low kick into high. If you eat the first hit, you have to block the second hit. Akuma could jailbreak here, literally. It doesn't get jailed. He jailbreaks by, when he's blocking this stuff or eating this stuff, he inputs an EXDP, and he gets, within the first frame of the attack, he's immediately rendered invulnerable, invincible, and he will hit the attacker with his DP out of whatever they're doing. So you know how to interrupt offense in like Tekken 8 or Tekken 7. You can try a power crush that has 7 frame startup. You can try a rage art that has 8 frame startup. You can try, like, you know, some parry sabakis that have 3 frames of startup. His EXDP, 1 frame of startup. If he wanted to, he could jailbreak pretty much any fucking situation in the game. So this led to an environment where he has the most absurd offense you've ever seen, but also in terms of defense, you would never try to attack this guy, because if he wanted to, 1 frame of invulnerability. If he wanted to, he 2D jumps away from you. Or neutral jumps, right? Like in Street Fighter, your attack whiffs, and then he comes down with a death combo. Or, you know, at the very least, like half your health bar. Or he could phase. He would do DP input 3+4, and he does that. Ooh! He phases away, and all your attacks just go through him. He's phasing. He also had very strong conventional power crush in like down for the 1+2, which was a long range mid knockdown wall splat, -14 on block. Was very strong, actually, very strong. And of course, his focus attack was armored and fully cancelable. I wonder if that covers like the 2D mechanic bullshit. Another thing you want to mention is that even from a conventional sense, like Tekken moves, he had amazing buttons. Like his 1-2 was like Jinpachi, you know, a 10-frame wall splat. Without meter, he had a 10-frame wall splat. That did big chunk of damage. He had, even from crouching, you know, he blocks -10, he would do dick jab, heavy DP, and it did like 40-ish damage, and also could wall splat, even from crouch. So this is like meterless. And then forward 3 was a very strong poke, long range mid poke, very good. Knockdown low and down 4, very long range, strong tracking. As well, running 3 was very plus. I believe they even didn't patch out a reset he had, where on a wall combo, he would hit a while running 3 on you as you were splatted on the wall. This would knock you into the ground, and he could reset you with down 3 DP, and you flew up on the wall again, and he did a full wall combo, and this did gigantic damage. I believe this was never patched out of the game. And for the longest time, he had a death tech trap where he combos you on the wall, and if you try and tech roll, he did a demon flip dive kick that hit behind you, and now he resplatted you for 1,000,000 damage. This was death, just death. They eventually did patch this out of the game. This character was so broken that they had to actually change how system mechanics in Tekken worked. They had to legit change how the system itself worked with tech rolls, because he could just exploit them so much with Demon Flip. A strong counter it in forward 4. high homing, I believe, counter hit launcher, very fast, 16 frame startup, I believe. He had a mid counter hit launcher in back 2, I believe it was. Safe mid counter hit launcher where he sweep like this. Was that also homing? He had a down for the 1 series, you know, down for the 1, down for the 1-1, down for the 1-2. His 2D jump Tatsu was like a homing launcher, I think. Was it plus on block, I believe? Like even from a conventional Tekken sense, like he had strong buttons, like strong moves. His while standing 2 was pretty disgusting as well, and this is what he would 50-50 with. He'd crouch in your face, and he has access to down 3, which kills you. Just straight up kills you, right? And then from crouch, obviously, you could do while standing 2, which is a 15 frame while standing launcher. And this would launch you, right? And it was special cancelable. So that, you know, on block, it's minus 15. But if you special canceled, they would always demon flip into mix. And you could try and interrupt the demon flip. But then if he stayed on the ground with just while standing 2, you had to react to that and try and punish him. So it was like a mix-up on block. If he wanted to stay safe, he would do while standing 2 into core circle back 2, like the biggest fireball. I don't know what it's called, like super fireball or whatever. That was safe on block, but that would forego the launch, right? But if he wanted to stay super safe. It is also worth mentioning that in neutral state, so that's like without meter, he has access to a 14 frame launcher in back 1. And like biggest damage in the game. The biggest damage you've ever seen. And this is where you go like, well, you know, that's the thing. That's Akuma. He's a glass cannon, right, in Street Fighter. He has the biggest, he has more damage, more combos than everyone. He def combos you. And you're like, well, it's true. He brought that into Tekken. But he never had the downside of being low HP. He wasn't a glass cannon in this game. He was a cannon. He had the same HP pool as every other character. So that's one part of his system he did not bring to Tekken, right? So I think that covers like this character, and I think it is the most broken character ever in a Tekken game. Like you can go back to like Tekken 5 Steve and say arguably he's dumber, but I think there's still an argument for this guy, considering how he doesn't operate according to Tekken rules at all. Yeah, I think it probably goes to Akuma when it's all said and done. And also, like, Tekken 5 is such an old game. It's also, as a funny side note, by the way, like, this character in the arcade version of the game, so that's Tekken 7 Fated Retribution, right, in arcades, he was even stronger. That's hard to believe, but he was even stronger than he eventually was in the game, the version of the game we played, right? The retail release. So just a super ridiculous character. Before I continue, I'm just gonna check in on my coffee situation with no edit. Sorry about that. I just need my morning coffee. It's still very early here. It's 8:30. Lovely day though, very sunny. So next up, I think we're gonna talk about Gigas very soon. I just think I'm gonna hammer out like the top 3. So now we can talk about maybe the second. There are 3 2D characters in this game, and they all stand out immensely due to breaking every rule in Tekken, right? So here we have Geese Howard from Fatal Fury. or King of Fighters, SNK. I love this guy. I think he is so fucking cool. And like, I wouldn't even mind if he came back in Tekken 8. But at the end of the day, he can't come back because the balancing team demonstrated that they don't know how to balance 2D in Tekken. They just don't. So I certainly don't trust them. And with everything going on in Tekken 8 right now, I don't trust them to handle this well a second time around, right? So Geese, he's not quite the rule breaker Akuma is. He's still a rule breaker. But with Geese, it was like, well, half the character is playing Tekken, and the other half is playing Fatal Fury. With this guy, it was more like 80% of the character is Street Fighter, 20% is Tekken. I feel like everyone felt the same way. This guy was more like conventional Tekken, but you really felt the 2D aspect of a character. And this character, in season, for the longest time in this game, so he launches in season 1. This game drops in June of 2017. He releases in November of 2017. So we played this game for only a couple of months before we got Geese. And for the entirety of season 1, season 2, and season 3, he is here. He is unbelievably broken. It's just unbelievably broken. And I'm not going to get into that too much. I'm going to talk about the final version of Geese. That is season 4 and beyond. But just to touch upon it briefly, just the most broken damage you've ever seen, launching you from dick jabs. Season 3 iteration had a Moon Slicer that had bigger damage, bigger combo. His Deadly Rave Rage Art did like it when it's all said and done, it does astronomical damage. In season 3, it was a nuke. It did even more damage. It was like dropping a nuke on someone. He would, I mean, you maybe you've seen the clips of me def comboing people. He had very reliable def combos with 3 meters. Very reliable def combos. A super absurd character. And his parry, his mid parry, would lead to a standing 2. There are clips of me doing parries with Geese into def combos. Imagine starting final round fight. You just check with a down for 1 mid. I parry you, and now you lost the round. You died. Like it sounds like a joke, but I would do that in matches. Without rage, by the way. So, and then very strong conventional counter hit launchers like standing 4, down for 2. They would nerf a lot of this stuff, but his sidestep 3 would launch. That's a sidestep low. Geesh launcher. Imagine like Claudio's sidestep 4 in Tekken 8 being a counter hit launcher. But this is the character I'm going to talk about, so I'm just going to get my coffee super fast. Apologies. So, Geese, they actually ended up nerfing a lot. Akuma was nerfed way less. But it's so comical. Like, this character did get a lot of nerfs, you know, since the arcade version of a character. But even with all of those nerfs, they just could never bring him down to a point where it was even remotely close to balanced. But that's what happens when you bring all of those mechanics into Tekken. But Geese, I believe, was, and I think this is objectively true, he was nerfed more than this guy due to the fact that he played more Tekken than this guy. And both of these core Tekken tools were nerfed, but he was only 20% Tekken. This guy was 50% Tekken. So he felt the nerfs more, which was good. So that's why I'm going to have Akuma as like undisputed top 1 in this game. I think everyone agrees here. And I'm going to have Geese as top 2. Has to be said that a lot of pros would probably put Geese maybe lower. They wouldn't put him top 2 because they felt like he got such big nerfs. But in my opinion, he's going to go top 2 because, again, you just cannot quantify or put a maximum skill ceiling, strength ceiling on the mechanics he has. Like, for example, the 2D jump, like I explained before on Akuma. He can jump over the neutral. He can jump over a lot of mids, even a lot of down forward ones in this game. He can jump over and then do a kick into a combo that kills you. In my opinion, you can't put a maximum strength output on that. It's just such an unbelievable privilege to have something like that in this game. And if that kick is blocked, Geese is like +5, +6. And can immediately attack again, right? But so as to the stuff that made him so strong, strong conventional Tekken, very, very long range jab, a jab that he can do 1-1 from it. He can do jab special cancel. He can do, this gave him a 10-frame wall splat. He would do jab, core circle back 1, gaboop, bagoosh, wall splat, knockdown, 10-frame knockdown. He could do 1-2, which was a very strong string. So that's jab 2, a mid. So he goes high, mid, and he's safe at like -7, -8, I think. And it's a natural, and it is very long range. And the second hit tracks quite decently. So it was a very safe way of him just checking people. And it also has the threat of follow-up. So it's 1-2, 1-1. And if you try to interrupt, this shit would do heavy damage, knockdown, and would wall splat you. I also believe if the second hit, the mid, counter hit, but the rest was natural as well. I'm pretty sure that's how it operated. So, very strong jab in general. Very decent down forward 1 as well, where you could go down forward 1-1 or down forward 1-4. A mid kick that's a knockdown and counter hit launcher. And wall splats, of course. And then he had a standing 4. That was a... was it a 15-frame startup? Homing, I think. Counter hit launcher. Kick. Very strong. Down for 2 was a pretty long-range mid homing check. That was like +10. At the wall would give him like +20 as it would wall crush. Forward 4 was a counter hit launching mid kick. He had a pretty obscene button in back 2, which was a very heavy mid punch like this. Gah! And it would do the donkey kick wall bounce for a gazillion damage. And this was actually +2 on block, which reminds you a bit of Lydia's back 1 in Tekken 8, which is a heat engager that's +2 on block. But this, if it was a wall, would obviously turn into a launcher. So this was an absurd button. And then he had a sidestep 3, which was a very good low that would, on counter it, give a lot of frames. Used to be a countered launcher that was nerfed. Down 2 is a very good, super fast low where he chops at your foot. And it is very evasive. It's very fast because he crouches instantly. It does decent damage. And then he has down 4, which is a counter hit launching low. That's also evasive. Very long range. This one, however, is launch punishable on block. If it hits, though, he can special cancel out of it. And Geese had some very interesting special cancels because he could do his special moves like Reppuken or Jaiken, But he could also do like almost normals. It felt like normals because part of his special cancel were moves like forward 1, forward free kick. So he could do some very interesting links. Kind of busted links. It almost felt like Horang, how he could like link a dick jab into a forward free. He could do the most obnoxious custom strings in your face to really lock you down and pressure you. But combined with the 2D jump, Reppuken, Jaiken, very strong power crush. So the conventional Tekken was strong, right? But then, of course, you have the 2D mechanics. So we talked about the 2D jump. We've talked about Reppuken. But the defining one for him was how strong his supers were and how much they elevated him. So the supers would give him access to unbelievable damage. Raging Storm at the wall could be used in wall combos, and this would just kill you. So this was 2 bars of meter. If he doesn't have a wall, he could, of course, in a combo, spike you into the ground. He's already done, like, you know, huge damage. And then he does Raigo Reppuken. And it's Geese 1 million damage and combos into Wild Running 1, a running shoulder. And now you're basically dead. So again, it's like, why was this in the game? I have no clue. It just def combos you without wall, def combos you with a wall. And again, he had the highest damage rage art in the game in Deadly Rave or Deadly Grape. And, you know, did 1 million damage. He had combos where he could link this mid-air. He could hit it on the wall. Pretty disgusting stuff. I think the super startup was also like 1 frame. So I think it was like 1 frame. So you could interrupt all kinds of shit with Raging Storms. That was also fun. Both of these also had chip damage, which added to their strength. Any special move did like 1 damage. And they usually had multiple hits, like Jaiken, da-da-da. That's 3 damage on your block. Supers were strong. And he had a strong orbital as well in forward 1+2, has to be mentioned. And then, of course, he had the first heat mode called max mode. So he pops his meter, and now he has access to 1 million damage. And Giga plus frames. Anything that was -9 before is now plus. So heat mode, he can, until the heat mode runs out, he can spam super enhanced moves that were game breaking. Infinity range, power crush mid, wall splat, that's -2 on block, completely resets the neutral. His orbital is now +4 on block, still launches. Launching 50-50 with core circle back 1+2, and then launching mid, launching low. It's very strong, right? But the heat mode also meant that he could certain moves turned into launchers, like back 3-2, which is a 14 frame startup mid, I believe. 14 frames. Yeah, 14 frames. He does a knee that you can't parry into a 2, and this he could confirm. Honestly, this was so dumb. Like, you whiff anything, or you whiff anything against him. He does back 3-2, confirms that it hit, presses 1+2, and now full launch, huge damage. He had infinite wall travel as well. He could do dash jab combos into Jaiken, and it was like wall to wall. He hits a standing 2 on you, and he does forward 1, max mode, 2 forward 1, moon slicer. You lost the round. You whiff anything, you die when he has a bar of meter. It's just the sheer damage output on this guy. You can't whiff anything. He has great poking. It was like fighting a wall. Didn't rely too much on 50-50. But also his parry. Again, a mid parry that launches when he has bar. It was absolutely ridiculously broken in season 1 to 3. I think it was season 4 that eventually nerfed the parry. Yeah. But so again, Geese, just a hilariously broken character. But I think that's going to be it for Geese. So now it's interesting, right? Now we have a top 2. So now we're going to try and build upon this and go with the top 3 characters. It might change. I'm going to do a final conclusion at the end. So again, it might change, but I'm going to drop Noctis characters I think of immediately. are Noctis and Kuni. These are characters I immediately think of. Kuni might be better than Geese, though. I don't know. Again, like, I'm gonna put him here because, in my opinion, the special cancels and 2D jump and his sheer damage output, in my opinion, is like infinity potential. And his heat mode. So I'm gonna put him here. But you could vary. I think most pros would probably argue this. I think I'm in the minority here. But so we're gonna talk about Kuni and we're gonna talk about Noctis. This game had a problem where DLC characters felt very pay to win. Most DLC characters in this game are significantly stronger than the main cast. Geese DLC shits on the cast, DLC. And it's funny how she felt 2D. She felt like she played a lot of the 2D garbage mechanics. This guy was a mix of like Soul Calibur, also a bit of 2D in that he has a forward 2, which is he throws his sword. It's a full screen projectile that's safe on block. His Heat Smash, Rage Drive, is also a full screen projectile that is plus on block, and that wall splats from 10 meters away. Yeah. Imagine, if you will, let's talk about Noctis now. Imagine, if you will, remember Tekken 8, how Jin's Heat Smash would wall splats from a football stadium away? Imagine that, but that same Jin Heat Smash is a projectile that's thrown across the screen. Like, it sounds like a nightmare, right? It sounds like I made this up. It's a dream, right? That existed in this game. So just revisiting this game, seeing that, it just made me laugh out loud, and just how much of this game I've forgotten, having played Tekken 8 for the last two and a half years almost, right? But let's talk about Noctis. So outside of that Heat Smash and projectile that, again, upended everything you thought you knew about Tekken, this character was like a Soul Calibur character. So this was when, again, he's a guest character. He's from Final Fantasy 15. He, they try and like, okay, they bring their systems with them. And this is when I think the Tekken devs were already absorbing quite a bit of a Soul Calibur team, right? And they brought Soul Calibur to Tekken, and my god, it just created so many problems. You know, with Anna and Clive in Tekken 8, how you feel they dominate the screen? This guy was more of that. He was even a worse offender here because of the aforementioned Heat Smash and projectile. But also, I'm going to mention straight away that he could actually 50-50 you. He does a forward roll, like rolls into you, and this is like a full screen mix. I'm not joking. He presses 4-3-4, he rolls into you, covers a lot of ground, and now pressing a button, he does a slide that is exactly where they got the Law Tekken 8 slide from. It's a knockdown slide where he comes out on the other side and then does a nunchuck. He does down back 1+2 aura, bagoosh. This does 1,000,000 damage and pancake flips you, just like Tekken 8 Law. If you however try and duck this, he has an unseeable wall bounce. So this is a launcher, a shoulder that you can't parry, tons of range, is only -13 on block, and it is armored. It is armored. So if you press, he armors through you. It's a power crush. Absolutely obscene mix. But Soul Calibur, so like, he never has range problems. He has a 4.5 meter wall splatting mid that knocks down with his sword. Again, it's a weapon, so it can't be parried. Wall splat, knockdown. This is safe on block at -9. Safe on block. And then his down for 2 is a full screen 15 frame mid launcher. He has forward 1+2. Yeah, he does this. Ha! And it's a very long range homing mid counter hit launcher that's safe on block at -9. If this normal hits you, it's a wall splat and +10 on hit. He has an orbital launcher that's again a sword. Everything cannot be parried on this character because everything is a sword attack, including almost every low is a sword. Nothing can be parried, nothing can be low parried. Greatly added to the strength of this character. He was also super brain dead. Both of these two, like, if we're gonna talk, you know how Tekken 8, like the conversation everyone is having is like, they dumb down Tekken, they scrub down the game, anyone can win. This game did that to a pretty similar extent, I would say. Anyone can win, 10 IQ. I've played Tekken for 20 hours. I win. Oh, you have 1,000 hours on Brian? Well, I've played Noctis for 50 hours. I win. I'm a huge threat. So it's a very unfortunate thing where it's like the easiest characters, Marduk by the way, the easiest characters in the game are arguably the strongest in the game. It's very unfortunate, but if we're gonna be real, the reality here is that this scrubbing down on the game, like make the character easy and make them strong. This started with Tekken 6 when they rolled out Bob and Miguel, Leo, Alyssa, Lars. This originated in Tekken 6, and also how we say, oh, Tekken 8 is so anime now. You should have heard Tekken fans and me when Lars and Alyssa, woo, bzz, 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 and Lars going, ooh, ooh, with a Superman cape and that hair jump. Like, Tekken 6 is where all of this started. And this was in 2007. It's almost 20 years ago, you know? So, honestly, for the majority of its lifespan, Tekken has catered a lot to scrubs. If we're gonna be real, I've talked about this on stream. Like, if you want to go back to basics, the true basics of Tekken, you're playing like Tag 1. That's when you're playing solely. I'm gonna dedicate a video to this. I should do that actually. I'm gonna make a note now. What is truly back to basics? Sorry, I'm just. What does that mean exactly? Yeah, so scrubbing down has been in the game for forever. To be honest, I would say it's been in the game for 20 years now. And this is a game that's existed for 30 years. And these guys were extreme examples of this. Extreme examples of this. So again, Noctis, nothing can be parried. No conventional parries, no low parries. Punch parry, Sabakis don't fucking work. Has really everything you need to be a super strong character. Had the best Oki ender in the game. He does any combo and he ends with forward 4, which is a kick backflip that transitions into a throw sequence where he grenades you, throws you on the ground, and if you try and get up, he will relaunch you with down forward 2, infinite range. And if you stay on the ground, he hits you with down back 1+2. That was fun. What else is there to say about Noctis? Very good poking. Emo Man was his Paul demo man, but it had significantly better reach than Paul's. And the first 2 hits would very conveniently wall splat. Super stupid. Had some fantastic strings and like down back 1, 1+2, safe on block, infinity range check. He had a super scummy low in down 2. It's a decent damage low, a long-range sword, cannot be low parried, neutral on hit, launch punishable on block, but it's like Hwoarang's Damek 4 with a built-in mix-up where he can add a second hit that counter it launches. So you can obviously duck the second hit that's a high and launch him, but what if he stops at the first hit? So Hwoarang's Damek 4 in Tekken 8, you can option select by low parrying if you don't want to deal with the mix on block. But this was a move that couldn't be low parried because it's a sword. So very, very scummy. Very scummy. While running 1+2 is a mid launcher, a running attack that's plus 11 on block. Yeah, there's a lot to be said about Noctis. Extremely easy, extremely strong. Took a big shit on Tekken's core mechanics. Was absolute bullshittery, and I do believe he was S+, everything considered. And now we are on, I can't believe I'm already 56 minutes into this video, but I told you guys it was gonna get rambly, okay? It was gonna get rambly. But I do have to speed up because this has to be done in 3 hours, because I've got plans, motherfucker. So now we are on Kuni. Kuni was unbelievably busted. Unbelievably busted. You would see every tournament player would have a pocket Kuni. Everyone was playing this character because just like Noctis, so easy, so unbelievably strong. Takes a shit on Tekken core mechanics, don't respect them, and does everything flawlessly. You want the best poking? You got it. You want the best movement? You got it. You want the best counter it? You got it. You want the best punish? You got it. Best 50-50? You got it. Arguably best unblockable? You got it. Best knowledge checks? You got it. I'm not joking, by the way. And had projectile. Like, and space control. Like, at full screen attacks. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Everything is S tier on this character. Which is why I think you could do this. But the only reason I put him higher is because of the 2D potential of the character. So again, Kuni, I think, you know, you can almost wrap it there, what I just said, with that explanation. But just to tell you a little bit on how she operated, like, if you watched Arslan play her, move around with strong movement, anyone whiffs anything, she can do it long range down for 2. A super long range mid launching crouchers, 15 frame launcher, right? She can also, anything whiffs, she could throw a kunai that it's a full screen projectile, but on hit transitions into a throw where she knocks them down. Does very good damage. She combined this with like the best poking in the game. Her 1-1, down for the 1-1, down for the 1-1-2. I think the best pokes in the game were her 2-2. So these two originated, and Katarina. This is the most toxic Tekken roster ever. Tekken 7 had the most pound-for-pound cancerous characters ever. You're gonna think, like, oh, even worse than Tekken 8? Yeah, worse than Tekken 8. Like, Katarina, where is she? Mash the 3 button. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Mash the 4 button. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. And it's viable. It's strong. Mash the 2 button. Ching, 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 ching. Match the 2 button. Ching, 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 ching. But the broken part here was that what you see on Clive right now, she did better than Clive. Like, she presses 2-2. Ching, ching. And it's the most broken thing you've ever seen. She, with her dagger, she goes like this. Mid. Fuck ton of damage. Natural mid, like 32 damage or something. Completely safe, long range. Is it like 12 frame startup? It's faster than a Downford 1. Like, it's the dumbest thing you've ever fucking seen. And she can do 5 hits. She can do like 4 hits into back turn mix, where she has mix-ups. She can do 3 hits into her Phoenix Shift. Clive-style Phoenix Shift. It's forward 3. It's a stance. So 2-2-2 stance into mix. It's like, it's again, it's hard to quantify how perfect this string is, or how strong this poke is. And then she had down back to 4, which was mid, safe, natural, mid, long range. She could even add a third hit. So down back 2, 4, 1+2, a third hit, and it's all safe. Third hit is also safe. Like, you're just sitting there like, what are these frames? What are these frames? What are these hit properties? And then would 50-50 you from crouch, could check you with mids, could check you with a launch, would mix that with an unseeable low that would knock down into guaranteed 4-4-2 into pancake flip. This was a super dumb low. It was due to its range and tracking. It was, I think it was homing, was considered one of the best lows in the game. And then she had a full screen counter hit launcher, and that was 12 frame startup. This was Phoenix Shift 4-3-2. Mid counter hit launcher transitions into throw for 1 million damage. She had some of the best wall carry in the game. I think the only character that had better was Lars. Some of the best wall carry in the game. 1 million damage, super consistent wall combo. Some of the best Oki. Full screen mid wall splat that's safe in core circle for 1+2, like a double flame dagger. Unblockable wall splat, forward 1+2. Forward 4 is a 9 frame long range knee, but it's wall splats. Forward 4. Oh, you did forward 4 too, my bad. Yeah, it's like whatever you needed, this character had. Yeah, it's hard to describe how stupid this character was. And I think she will be toned down for Tekken 8. Most of the time, they've toned down DLCs for Tekken 8. Certain DLCs are, of course, absurd. Like Lydia, for example. I think Eddie is stronger in Tekken 8. Anna, of course. Anna has been ridiculous. But I think that sort of paints the picture of these characters and how strong they were. So now we're gonna continue. Now I can explain Gigas. So why was Gigas so bad? There is no character in Tekken 8 that's as bad as Gigas. Weakest character in Tekken 8, I think, is Devil Jin. But Devil Jin in Tekken 8 is like a god compared to this character. So Gigas is very sluggish in his movement. Has the worst sidestep you've ever seen because he's so wide, he's so big, he almost can't sidestep. He has a gigantic hitbox, which meant that most of a roster can do obscene combos on him that they can't do on other characters. Like, any combo would almost do 20% more damage, and combos already hurt very much in this game. They hit significantly harder than Tekken 8, and there is no recoverable health. He also, his hitbox on walls would be very weird in that he would have this tendency to get resplatted all the time on walls as well. To a significant degree, where it was seen as a weakness. So again, he just combos really hurt when you played Gigas. And now in terms of his offense, he is very sluggish to get going. Any conventional moves in this game, it was like add 5 frames of startup on this guy. He's very slow. And even then, his frames on block were very bad. I believe his down for 1 is like... Is it like -6 or something? I don't remember. But very poor frames. And then in general, very poor moveset. Moves that stood out were like his 1-2, which was a heavy damage, very long range 10 frame punish, knockdown on wall splat. Very strong. And then his down 2 was a long range 15 frame launcher. But honestly, outside of that, everything is trash. Everything is straight up trash. He would have a low. He has a low in down back 2. I believe it's down back 2, yes. Where he does a low sweep on your feet, your legs. That gives him plus frames and damage. But I do believe this is reactable, right? It's like 23, 24 frames. I'm trying to think of strong things on Gigas. Nope. The character is complete dog shit. The character is complete dog shit. And, you know, he was an experiment, but he seems to be completely abandoned now. And I have to say, like, I feel like, Jesus, sorry. I do believe a lot of people are going to agree with me when I say that it doesn't look like a main character. He doesn't have a visual appeal of a of a major player, right? Someone you want to devote a lot of time with. If we're gonna be real, like, he looks like not even a sub boss in a game, but to me it looks like maybe a goon of Bane's that Batman would beat up on in an Arkham Asylum game, or like a normal enemy in a Metal Gear game or whatever. And when he had no dialogue, it would just be a mindless beast going roar, roar, roar. So everything to do with presentation or character was dog shit. His rage art, he would just jump you and go bop, 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 bop. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's like everything was so underwhelming. And then to add on top of that, his gameplay was trash. It wasn't particularly interesting. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's like, I feel like they very quickly gave up on this character and considered him a failed experiment, a joke. Didn't really do anything to salvage him. And in Tekken 8, Jack is absorbing his moveset. Tells you everything that, you know. Gigas is just dead and buried, and yeah, he was absolute dog shit in this game. So if you want to add someone else to the bottom here, we can go with Lars. Maybe I would say was not a very good character. I think Kuma and Panda were not good. Dragunov is not good. Dragunov is a bad character. So I'm gonna have to ask you guys I apologize. It's gonna be another break. I need to pee. I'm really holding it in. One. And I'm back. My apologies. Thanks for waiting. So now we're gonna look at these characters. So now we are at C. So I do believe Gigas was worse than these characters. Maybe no. Lars was definitely there. Maybe something like this. So Kuma and Panda were pretty much knowledge checks only in Tekken 7. They had like the legacy bear stuff, but they had none of pretty insane tools they have in Tekken 8. Like in Tekken 8, they're dog shit as well. Well, not dog shit. You know how Tekken 8 is a more balanced game, so when you're bottom tier in this game, it really matters. When you're bottom tier in Tekken 8, it only really matters if you're like going to Evo, because Devil Jin can certainly compete online. Note that these characters can always compete online because they're so cheap and they have such low usage rate, and they're so knowledge check heavy combined with a low usage rate that these guys dominate online. Like I think Kuma has the highest win rate in Tekken 8. But that doesn't... But he's still like the low tier, right, in Tekken 8. Doesn't stop him from being the best character online. But does the best online. Same in Tekken 7. But still, in Tekken 7, it means more being on the bottom end of things due to being a less balanced game. So in Tekken 8, these guys have legit strong moves like, back forward 2, which is almost full screen counter at launching high, that's safe on block, very spammable. Untechable throw mix from bear stance, pretty disgusting heat smash, right? Insane fucking wall combo. They have some stuff. But like in Tekken 7, they have no stuff outside of their knowledge checks. That's it. And they eat huge combos, so kind of dog shit characters. Rangchu did win Tekken World Tour. Was it 2018? He won with Panda and Kuma. But you could tell how much he was knowledge checking even people like Ni and Kudans. But that just tells you no one knows everything in these games. No one does. It's like how people always say, "Oh, lab the matchup, you fucking scrub. Stop complaining. Lab the But if no one plays the character, how are you gonna build the muscle memory? How are you gonna get good at a matchup on when no one plays the character? It just doesn't work. It's funny how that in Tekken, like, knowledge checking is so viable in Tekken. Please tell me there's no fighting game where knowledge checking is as strong as this game. Dragunov is super bad in this game. He has strong movement. He has 1-to-1 wall splat, knockdown wall splat. He has down 2. He has down for 2 is still a good launcher, I think. And that's it. And then he has nothing else. Character got one of the biggest glow-ups, biggest overhauls for Tekken 8. You know, he got Sneak 4. He got full crouch down for 1-4. He got Hatchet. They buffed quite a few of his strings. He got the wall throw. In this game, he has nothing. And he has the weakest wall combo in the game. Down back 2-1-2. Does no damage. Flips for Oki, but he doesn't have Oki. There's no pigeon roll. There's no nothing. And his hitboxes are worse. He get his mids whiff constantly against moves that if a move evades highs, it will evade his mids basically. And this is a roster where there's a fuck ton of evasion. Fuck ton of evasion. So much evasion. Like, you have no clue. A lot of the top tier characters, you know, had high evasion. Yeah, this Dragunov didn't work in this game. I think he was probably. I think if you want to be super real, which I want to be, he was probably the weakest character in the game. Do you know why I would say that? Like, in theory, he isn't. He isn't, in theory, when you look at the numbers. But in reality, he is. Do you know why? Because he was a popular character. A lot of people played him. And he didn't knowledge check. He had a super honest playstyle. And a lot of people use him, which makes people familiar with his counterplay. And he relied solely on fundamentals. Which in reality, as far as I'm concerned, made him the weakest character in the game. But yeah, super bad character. Was still cool to see JDCR play him a bit, you know, at events. And then we have Lars. Lars had very strong defense. His movement was a bit sluggish, but holy shit. Amazing whiff punish. Amazing block punish. Very, very good with the defense. But that's where it ended. Everything else was garbage. Oh, except for infinite wall travel. Like the best wall travel you've ever seen. With a string that's been removed now. He would do back 4 into silent entry 3-4. That's now a double kick that spikes. In this game, it was a double kick that threw them so fucking far away. Just infinite wall travel. But I like this Lars because he still had his stance mix-ups, but they had like very strong option selects. So he had to play around with timing a lot. Imagine a very, very honest version of Lars. Tekken 8 Lars is monkey mode. This Lars, you had to think. So a cool character, but a weak character. A weak character. So just to make it fun, let's put some Mishimas on the list. I think I'm gonna do where's Devil Jin? Devil Jin, I actually think was really bad. Really bad. I wonder if I'm gonna put him in C, to be honest. Yeah, I think that's what it's gonna look like. And then I'm just gonna put. I want to talk about these characters, Marduk and Brian. Yeah. So Jin is a very interesting character in Tekken 7. You know, I've said it a million times that he's a masterpiece in character design in this game, and he was. I've said for all of these years that he was flawless in how they balanced him, and how they designed his move list. And in Tekken 8, he was abysmal on release. He was an abomination, if we're gonna be real. But with patches in Tekken 8, he's actually becoming a character I like a lot. And he's becoming very balanced, and he doesn't feel as stupid identity-wise. And I do have to say that revisiting Tekken 7, this is funny, he's not a flawless design anymore, in my opinion. And you might think, oh my god, you're getting demented, you're so old, you're insane. But I gotta say, revisiting this and seeing his launching Hell Sweep again, I'm just like, that doesn't make sense in terms of his strength. It's too strong. And it doesn't make sense in terms of identity. But that's supposed to be on Devil Jin. Devil Jin is meant to have a launching 50-50, a launching Hell Sweep. That has always been Devil Jin. In my opinion, Jin having a launching Hell Sweep just makes it so that they are too similar in identity. Like, Jin does what he does, and then he does everything else. And I'm just like, that's no good. Whereas in Tekken 8, there's a much clearer identity distinction between these two characters. Much clearer identity distinction. He is all round. He is fucking not. He has a brutal 50-50. He has a pretty good 50-50. He has a launching Hell Sweep. He does not. So I'm just like, but then you could argue, well, they gave him Samsara, they gave him a dive kick. I agree. That was fucking stupid. But people are gonna murder me. But when I compare these two in Tekken 8, I see more interesting characters. Note that when I look at Jin alone, I still prefer his Tekken 7 iteration. But I gotta say, he's not a flawless character design. Should not have a launching Hell Sweep. So I'm putting him in S here. Could technically be put here, I think. But I'm gonna take him down due to the difficulty of piloting the character. He's very hard to pilot. Like in this game, you know, his forward 4 counter hit launcher famously requires some pretty hardcore skill to get working. So you can do like forward 4 into Zen to get an easy combo, but the downside to that is that opens you up to get punished on your forward 4, unless you do a Zen cancel, where you cancel this very quickly into block. Hard to do. If you want to do a raw forward 4, which is good because you can stand far away, do your forward 4, still safe on block, and now you don't go into Zen into your opponent, right? You keep far away. That's very nice to have. But to now transition this into a combo and counter it, you need to dash in deep and do a very strict while standing 4 into a micro dash back to 1. This will lead to big damage, and forward 4 is very strong, right? But it's very hard to do. I think it's the hardest staple in the game. It's either that or the Shiro combo, right? So, yeah, Jin is mechanically very difficult due to that stuff. And then outside of that, he's a flawless character. And he has some absurd counter hits. Like standing 4, while standing 3, down for 2 is a 15-frame mid-countered launcher. That's safe on block. But that's quite, common for this game, as it's completely revolved around counter hits. And everything that's Jin is there, 2-1, 2-1-4 is safe. Down 4, forward 3 is +1 on block. It's a 24-frame mid launcher, +1 on block. While standing 2 is a 14-frame launcher. Cans are there. It's arguably, would be the most all-round. I mean, he does have electric, but launching 50-50 goes a long way. Like, the Hell Sweep does a fuck ton of damage. And the parry is there. The parry is stronger in Tekken 7, right? Recovers very quickly on whiff. Or did they nerf it already in this game? Or was it Tekken 8 that nerfed the parry? His parry was hilariously OP. But yeah, no, everything that's Jin is there. And he had some of the best combos in the game, in my opinion, with his combos would do a huge damage. And he had also this wall travel string that was so strong. Back 3 Zen, 1-3. Transitions into a throw in Tekken 8. In this game, it just throws them super far away. But just a very, very strong character. And now we have Heihachi, who is... I did a video on him, and he's like a boss character. He is so fucking strong. Heihachi is better. Maybe Heihachi is better. It's difficult. I'm gonna put Heihachi above because this character just doesn't make sense, in my opinion. Probably the best Mishima in the game. Like, again, I made a video on this. But let's just discuss his Heat Smash, right? So his Rage Drive. 1 back 2 is one of the best strings in Tekken history. It's Heihachi's long range jab into back 2. This is a high into a mid. This, the second it tracks a lot. This is only guaranteed on counter hit. But it's basically back to neutral. It's the safest thing to just fart out all the time. There's just no downside to it. -2 on block, second it tracks a lot. There's just no downside to the string, as far as I'm concerned. And it has a follow-up, right? In 1 back to 4, 1 back to 1. When he is in heat, or in rage, he can do his Rage Drive. So 1 back to 1 + 2. He adds a headbutt. This move is technically still there, a version of it in Tekken 8. So in Tekken 8, same thing, he does 1 back 2, and he can counter it, confirm this into the headbutt, and it does a lot of damage, it's strong, he gets plus frames. In Heat or in Rage, in Tekken 7, this would now confirm into the same headbutt, but this would do like 50 damage now. and this would now launch. Right? So this is the safest G-clef you've ever seen, and it's a 50 damage launch in a game that has 170 damage health bars, and with a wall, he could clear quite easily 110. So what this means in a game with 170, 175 health bars is that he could, from the safest G-clef you've ever seen, he could get like 70, 75% of your health bar from a 10 frame. From a 10 frame. Again, but he can confirm. So to me, this is like, you're touching upon like best move ever territory. Best move ever territory. Nothing like it exists in Tekken 8. And for good reason. So the only thing I can think of as stronger is just something he would do maybe. But like that is... like, you know, you can compare it to jab, counter hit, launch. But this would do more damage. I don't know why it was 50 damage into launch. It was +9 on block. Like, even if it was 50 damage into guaranteed forward for 2 on the ground, it would still be super ridiculous. So that move alone is like pretty crazy, right? And then the numbers don't make sense, the frames don't make sense. In Tekken 8, his flash punch is arguably his best move. He has a wall splatting flash punch in Tekken 8. It's pretty dumb, right? And the 1-1 is -5 on block. In this game, the 1-1 is -1. Again, it might not sound like a lot, but he goes back to neutral. And then he has a down forward 1 that is long range 13 frame startup. In Tekken 8 it's -5, in this game it's -1. And it is a staggering +9 on hit. +9. And it still has follow-ups. Down forward 1-1, down forward 1-2. None of this makes sense. His wall stunning 2, safe panic button, evasive panic button, is a counter hit launcher in this game. His biggest drawback in Tekken 8 is that he has big tracking problems and his homing moves aren't that good. In this game, he has a god button homing move. Long range mid, back 4, knockdown wall splat, -9 on block, counter hit launcher. It makes no sense. It just makes no sense. Launching punch parry, recovers super fast on whiff. It's like this. And then he's back to neutral. His forward 3 is a god counter hit launcher. It's a -2 on block. Long range mid, can't be parried because it's a knee. A normal hit guarantees a demon uppercut pancake flip for like 35 damage. Wall splats, -2 on block, counter hit launcher. This serves actually as an enhancement of his hell sweep, actually, which is his most important low in Tekken 7 and in Tekken 8. It's basically the same. +8 on normal hit, as a mix-up on, on hit or on whiff, he keeps going, he spins around. It's pseudo-homing, counter hit launcher, right? And the +8 makes it so that in Tekken 8, he does back 4, and it's a frame trap, right? Where if you try and do anything, you get counter hit launched. It will trade with a jab or a dick jab. But back 4 in Tekken 8 is -9. In Tekken 7, he does forward 3, which is also 18 frames. Well, do the same thing. Counter hit launch, it will trade, right? But, crucially, it's only -2 on block. This serves to make this makes his hell sweep stronger. Forward 4 kills you at the wall if he gets the counter hit. No, sorry, if he gets the crouch hit, because there's no scaling on it, it just kills you. His damage is obscene. If he lands an Omen on you, you are dead. Omen is -10 on block. God, what else is there to say about this crazy motherfucker? I mean, these are basically the moves he rotates. When he's in rage, he launches you. The rage drive serves as a combo extension that does 1,000,000 damage. Interestingly, he has a throw mix, considering he has down for 2+3, which is a 2-break. He has Broken Toy, which is a 1-break with a telegraphed unique animation, though. But yeah, no, this character is fucking crazy, and requires, of course, no stances because the numbers are so insane. The character is a stance, I would say. He just bullies you at the wall with jab, jab back to 1-1, down for 1, down for 1-1, down for 1-2, forward 4, and you are just permanently stun locked. You just hold the mix. You don't dare do anything. Pretty obscene character in this game, I would say. But maybe someone would take offense to this. Maybe someone would say this. But I think he actually is super dumb. Super dumb. So now I do want to discuss Marduk. So Marduk is probably a character. So I'm gonna have some more coffee here. So, again, Marduk is a character you've probably heard a lot about and how toxic he is. It's funny because revisiting the game now, playing him, I realize how much he plays like Street Fighter 6, actually. He feels like Street Fighter 6 in Tekken 7. And again, I'm not a fan of Street Fighter 6 and like how Drive Rush feels like a neutral skip, or how like the throw loop is kind of cancer in my opinion. It's just the most brain dead Oki, where you're constantly forced to stand back up again from the ground, and how you're always guessing 50-50, right? It's basically like every 90% of a roster in Street Fighter 6 plays like Kazuya, but you're forced to stand back up again. You're forced to tech roll, and you just take the mix, and the hell sweep is basically safe because you break the throw and you go back to neutral. Well, this is Marduk. Yeah, I just described Marduk to you. Marduk is Street Fighter 6 in Tekken 7, and that's why I think Street Fighter 6 has kind of toxic gameplay. But I feel like the Oki just lacks nuance completely. And that's funny, how, yet again, like, everyone says, like, oh, Street Fighter 6 is so great and Tekken 8 is so awful. And Tekken 8 has super bad PR, which is for good reason, I would say. But everyone is like, oh, Street Fighter 6 is like peak fighting games right now. I think, even Diaphone made a video, where he's I just saw the thumbnail where it's like Street Fighter 6 at the top, peak, and then avoid Tekken 8. He talks about what games to get into in 2026. But I'm like, for the same reasons you condemn Tekken 8, you would be 5 times as harsh on Street Fighter 6. 5 times as harsh. Because in my opinion, like, this is the reality of Street Fighter 6. I should make a video on that as well, to be honest. And now I spilled some coffee on my paper. I can do a separate video on that. I think it's a very interesting conversation to have. But so yeah, that's why I don't like Street Fighter 6. And I spent, after the fiasco of Season 2 of Tekken 8, I spent like two hours with no, sorry, I've rambled for so much. Sorry, I'm Joe Biden moment. I spent 2 weeks with Street Fighter 6, and I was like, my God, this is not good. Don't get me wrong. I do think Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6 are the best fighting games ever, pretty much. It's just that we're being quite harsh on these games right now. And I think gamers in general are being very harsh on games these days. I think competitive PvP gamers everywhere are so fed up with their games. Or it's just negativity with gamers right now. But we're very harsh on the games we play. It's not like, you play Tekken 7 and you're in heaven. I can assure you, you are not. And I think this list right now kind of proves that point, right? But if you play Tag 2, are you in heaven? Take it from me, hell no. Tekken 6, are you in heaven? Hell no. So it's like, it's there's always been a heavy downside to these games, They've always had toxic elements. I think it's the same with Street Fighter, But I'm just saying, like, this is Street Fighter 6 as far as I'm concerned. And Marduk is a goddamn joke. I don't put him here because the drawbacks were weak sidestepping, big hurt box, people do big combos on him, sluggish, most of his big moves or good moves have quite a bit of wind up. But everything else is just straight up cancer. His throws were cancer to deal with. His Oki was second to none. Like, King, Giga Oki. Xiaoyu, Giga Oki. Yoshi, Giga Oki. But this guy's Oki, like, dear lord, knocks you down. If you stay on the ground, he has a throw to relaunch you. Literally grabs you from the ground, throws you sky high in the air again for unbelievable damage. And has unbelievable damage in general. He has strong counter hit launchers. If he counter hits you into a launch, 70% if he gets the ground throw right. If he gets the tackle, he had tackle setups on you trying to stand back up again that were unavoidable. Tackle in general is probably, it is top 5 cancerous moves of all time. But this is his drive rush, neutral skip, throw loop, where he's standing anywhere, goes down to VTS, instantly cancels it into tackle. He starts running into a Goldberg spear. This connects like a throw, has a free frame throw break. What Marduk players would do is that they would use this from the right distance where he runs 3 steps, and now it's a different break. Now it's a just frame break. You have to press 1+2 on the exact right frame. Very hard to do. And as soon as you eat this tackle, which you would do 50 times per match, he lays on top of you, and now he has a reactable option, so it's a freeway mix-up. But what most Marduks would do is they would do a 50-50, and this had a built-in feint where he could feint. So he does like a 1 or a 2, and you have to guess 1 or 2. If you get it correctly, the break, and this goes for the initial break as well. If you get it correct, he goes back to neutral. Didn't take a fucking risk, right? But if he lands it, you take monstrous damage. The throw itself of the initial tackle is like, is it 10 damage or 15? And then I think it's 10. And then the throw itself does an additional like 35 or 40. I think as a whole, it will do 45 or 50. And then you gotta wake up next to Marduk, which is also fun. And he had throws that went into tackle. He had a parry that went into tackle. Very strong counter hit launchers. Strong punishment. One of the best 12-frame punishers in the game. Could be done from standing or crouching. 35 damage into obscene, like +7, I think. Huge range on it as well. At a 14 frame startup knee low that couldn't be low parried. Heavy damage even on the pokes. Even down 3 low poke, heavy damage. The most brutal OQ you've ever seen. He could also go into VTS stance, right? Into a 50-50. A low, but goosh, hell sweep at wall splats. Mid launcher, just like Kazuya. Like, if you ever stayed on the ground, like because you didn't want to eat the tackle, so a lot of people stayed on the ground, he could, again, relaunch you, hit threat and crouch throws, but just like Kazuya, he had a steel pedal. VTS free, he does a pancake flip. It's like a Kazuya steel pedal, he just pancake flips you. Just obscene character. Absolutely obscene character. Just like these guys would allow a 50-hour player to beat someone who was so much better than them at core Tekken. Allows a lower skill Tekken player to beat a high skill Tekken player. It sounds a bit exaggerated, but it's just not. Heavy carry character, but there were a lot of these in this game. I'm gonna have to speed this up because, again, I only had 3 hours and I'm at 1 hour 45 minutes and we've covered, what is this, 14 characters so far. So I'm going to have to speed it up, but the interesting characters are gonna get more time. Brian is very strong in this game. He's arguably, I think he's stronger in this game than he is in Tekken 8. Tekken 8, you have Cannon, but everything else I think is weaker than this guy in Tekken 7. Northern Cross is a launcher in this game. Super strong panic button, super strong respect me button. Mach kick 444 launches in this game on counter it for a gazillion damage. It's also safe on block at -9, it's -10 in Tekken 8. Magic 4 obviously at 12 frames, but that's more of a system mechanic. His hatchet is insane in this game. It counter hits into down 3-4-2, which is 50 damage, flips them into a taunt setup. He has a bullshit unblockable in this game, forward 4-1. It's the best unblockable ever in Tekken. It's a round ender where he just does, there's nothing you can do about it. He runs into you and does, yep, like this, unseeable, and you take like 20 damage. It's super fucking cheap. It's super fucking cheap. And his 3-4 knocks down on normal hit. His sidestep 1 is also a launcher on normal hit in this game. His combo damage is outrageous, but it is in Tekken 8 as well. Yeah, I'd say. Oh, and his 4-4-2 Mach Punch is you know how we got annoyed at getting wall splatted by install Mach Punch in Tekken 8, and they removed it. His 4-4-2 in this game is a power crush wall splat, and it does like 30. It does obscene damage. I don't remember how much, but it does so much damage into a wall splat, and it's safe on block at -9. It's super dumb. So yeah, he's very strong in this game. Very strong. I mean, he's somewhere around here. Kazuya, Devil Jin is trash. He does no damage. Hell Sweep does no damage. While sending to launch does no damage. Up forward 4 gives like +10, but huge knockback. Doesn't do anything. He's just fucking trash, dude. He is fucking trash. He's garbage. I don't even know what to say. He has a good downward 1, you know, downward 1-2, 13 frame, downward 1-2 safe. He's fucking trash. Super bad. Kazuya, the big distinctions are like, he doesn't have Demon Paw, Devil Fist, but instead he has down back 2 that gives Steel Pedal on normal hit. Tracks a little bit to his weak side. That's very strong. He has short form unblockable. That's super cheap. The wall splats for big damage. His heat smash is pretty good. It's a very long range +5 mid that does 1,000,000 damage. That goes into Devil Form. Devil Form is super OP in this game. It has a mid electric. Forward foreign crouch kills the opponent. He has infinite hell sweep into Heaven's Gate because there's no heat bar, obviously. But he has very little health, right? Very little health. But I'm just saying, like, Devil mode is super OP. Mid-electric. The mid-electric is -6 on block, but still. It almost hits grounded as well. God, what else does he have in this game? Right. 12 frame counter at launch. So that's a big deal for Kazuya, and that in Tekken 8, he has like no options at range 0 when he's trading with people. In this game, even trading against someone like Steve, he can threaten Steve with a 12 frame counter hit launcher into 75 damage. Kazuya is a very different character in this game in that regard. That's kind of cheap, Kazuya having something like that. It messes with his identity, in my opinion. And then back 4 is a counter hit launcher. That, the high homing. But outside of that, it's pretty much the same character. He's not good. He's just not good. But he's certainly better than Devil Jin. He's also easier to get high damage with. Because anyone, there's no execution requirement to get triple electric bound in this game. Anyone can do. You can literally do win God Fist, delayed win God Fist, back to 1. Anyone can do triple electric bound in this game. So everyone has access to like the big damage combos. So easier execution, I would say. His combos are harder in Tekken 8. He also obviously doesn't have a free 1 cancel. Yeah. It has to be mentioned, though, that due to how the bound works in this game, the tailspin bound, it is strict, though, if you want to do an ender, like, dash in, back 3-1 into dash electric. If you don't have to do that. But if you want to do that, well, that's a bit technical. Steve is such an interesting character in this game. I'm gonna put him in A. Big distinctions are Shiro, down for 2, very cool combo. Down for 2 counter it into duck in, pick up into full combo, called a Shiro combo. Very hard to execute, very cool. Has to be said, though, that there's a similar higher damage, actually, mechanic in Tekken 8 and skill expression in down for 2, duck, cancel, crouch, full crouch down for 2, which is a just frame in Tekken 8. So when it's all said and done, like, Shiro is very cool, but what he has in Tekken 8, I would say, is equally cool. So I think for a lot of like Tekken 7 Steve purists who are like Shiro above everything else, but I'm like, I find the just frame combo thing in Tekken 8 equally cool when it's all said and done, and it does more damage, so the reward is higher, and I think you should get a huge reward considering the difficulty of what you did. So that's not one of the things I miss, about Tekken 7 Steve. What I miss is that not everything revolves around Lionheart, and that everything doesn't go into Lionheart. I really miss Tekken 7 Steve when I play him because he feels so clean. He's just so clean. So miss this character a lot. And I like the Dabak free stomp knockdowns into Albatross. And everything isn't about outfox evasion either. He has very strong evasion in this game as well. But he's very strong in this game. Again, very safe. Good rush down. Has a guard break in this game as well. A lot of people have forgotten about that. Enhanced duck in 4-2 Blue Spark gives while stunning 1-2, which does more damage than the Lionheart guard break. Quite a bit more. Lionheart guard break gives 19 damage in Tekken 8. In this game, the Wild Man you get, hard to do though, the Wild Man you get does like 30 damage on a smaller health bar. So the guard break is stronger in this game. But the big deal is also his heat smash his heat smash is trash in Tekken 8. His heat smash in this game is one of the best. It's a Sonic Fang that launches and has better tracking than the Sonic Fang in Tekken 8. It's fucking insane how strong his heat smash is. So yeah, he's a very strong and solid character. Maybe someone would put him in S, but I'm gonna put him in A. God, I really gotta speed this up. I'm at 2 hours. Zafina is super busted in this game. Due to the strength of a backdash, is she almost here? If you played her with a leverless, which a lot of people do, especially my dear fans in Russia, Suka Bliet, they would play her with leverless, and due to the strength of her backdash in a game with strong backdashes, you literally, if the player didn't want to, you could not interact with this character. They just, they're gone. They are literally gone. Kuni had this as well. You couldn't interact with this character. Super strong down for 2, super strong knowledge check, super strong stances, very strong down for 1 series, strong counter hit launchers. She was super bullshit. Saw a couple of nerfs though, but played by Arslan and many others due to a reason. I guess I'll put her here, but a super strong character. We gotta. Do we have any other notable characters? Lee is a character a lot of people like. In my opinion, not good in this game. Not good. Has none of the rush down and aggression capabilities of Tekken 8 Lee, which isn't Lee in my opinion. This is like pure Lee. This guy, very strong keep out, very strong defense, punish, super good counter hits, but he had to get a counter hit. That was the thing with this Lee. He was Lee. Tekken 8 Lee, he doesn't give a shit if you don't press. This character, if you didn't press into him, if he didn't get a counter hit, he had pretty much nothing to threaten you with. So due to Lee being Lee, not a good character, but strong combos, great wall carry, some good stuff. When he was in Heat though, in Rage, he had a downward 3-4, a very strong launcher for huge damage, but he didn't really have the lows to mix it with. So yeah, Lee not very good. Alyssa, very strong, very dumb, super dumb chainsaws. Tekken 7 started the very unfortunate trend of just power creeping her. Just better punish, better poking, better chainsaw. And they've never stopped. They just keep buffing her. I don't know why. Maybe it's because no one plays her and they love how anime waifu she is, but she just keeps getting buffed constantly. Super all-round, super good movement. Just a very strong character. Hwoarang was... Didn't have the initiation he has today. Strong 50-50. Backlash is a launcher for huge damage. How good is he? A little bit underwhelming, I would say. Strong 50-50 and down 3-4 is stronger. I like more 50-50, I think. Just more 50-50 compared to today's Hwoarang. I gotta say, I didn't think this character was very oppressive. Paul was a character in like early Tekken 7, was unbelievably strong. But as the game went on, he got super power crept, and he got a lot of nerfs. But a very strong character. Was the only rage arts were all over the place in this game. Like he had a safe rage art from stance. He had a cancelable rage art where if he launched you and he was in rage, he would do 1 million damage. The rage art cancel would enhance his combos greatly and the damage. And very good counter launchers. Down for one into back sway into the sway mix. Very strong, like it is in Tekken 8. Demo Man was stronger in this game, I felt. It had more clean hit range. The wall splatted a lot of damage. Death Fist did more damage in this game. His rage drive was very strong. Yeah, it's just it felt like he hit harder in this game. I know it sounds insane because he hits hard in Tekken 8. But very strong and solid. Very strong and solid. Low, very good, very high execution, DSS. I think the biggest difference between Law in this game and new Law is obviously the Magic 4. He had one of the best Magic 4s in Tekken 7. Again, 11 frames, right? And safe. It's 13 frames in Tekken 8. And he could still, of course, do stuff like 4-free, 4-up-free, the backflip. So stuff like that was insane. And then he had a 14 frame, like, people forget this, but like, you know, 3-4, the double kick into legend kick in Tekken 8, 3-4-4. In this game, that was a 14 frame launcher. That was like one of the best punish moves in the game, full stop. You whiff anything, boom, boom, you're launched. -14, boom, boom, you're launched. It had so much reach and it did very respectable damage. That was insane. And then, you know, he had DSS. DSS was done manually, not holding forward, but, you know, heavy execution. And in this game, you know, while setting for a counter hit, if you were a godlike Law player, strong with DSS, Gosane would do this quite a bit. While setting for a counter hit, and now, if you did the DSS perfectly, I think there were like 2 frames of leeway, but this was hard to do. You would get that 14 frame 3-4-4. So while setting for a counter hit, give a free 3-4-4 with no scaling, full launch. Like, yeah, very, very strong, but very hard to do. His rage drive was kind of trash. Not one of the really good ones. But a very strong character. Just not as stupid as he is now. No, nowhere near as stupid as he is now, I would say. And rewarded as mechanical skill a lot. I do miss this Law, I have to say. I miss this guy. Bob never struck me as anything more than B tier. Did get a lot of buffs though, was very all-round, very knowledge check heavy, very string heavy, very evasive. A biggest drawback was always a lack of a 15 frame launcher, but then they ruin identity, of course, with Tekken 7 and with Tekken 8, and they give him a 15 frame launcher, albeit a very weak one, but still. I was not that good with natural hit launchers as well. But stressful to play against, very all-round, but never struck me as very potent as a character. Nina, super strong. I'm not sure she was quite S tier. Maybe she was, though. She probably was S tier. Super heavy damage. Super good poking, just like today. Fantastic counter hit launchers. I think her back 4 in this game. In Tekken 8, I think it gives down for 2, right? In this game, it gives... Is it core circle for... No, up for 2-1. Just get so much damage. Her wall travel with Butterfly in this game and the wall combo, she just does so much damage. To be honest, like, I don't know what her drawback was in this game. I think, you know what? It's like... But I think the reality at the end is like, the characters that are bullshit strong in this game, they are stronger than the top tiers in Tekken 8. Like, they just operate in a different universe. And that's why this character, you put her here, you know. But it's not like, you know, there's a huge difference between this character and the Tekken 8 iteration. Of course, Tekken 8 iteration has guns, and some obnoxious strings. It's a back 4, 1+2, the same string that goes into guns. But yeah, Nina was very strong in this game. Who else is interesting? King, Armor King, we can do them. Where the fuck do we put them? Where do we put King and Armor King? I mean, I guess it might be a hot take. Yeah, fuck. I don't think Armor King can be an A. I don't think Armor King can be an A. I think King can be an A, though. Like King, 12 frame counter hit launcher in back 1. It was pretty decent on whiff even, if I remember this correctly. Strong poking. Throws are of course great. Oki is amazing. His rage drive led to super bullshit Oki. Down for 2-1 is still bullshit in this game. Still 13 frame startup. God, is there anything else to say in distinction here with Tekken 8 King? Well, he has a backdash in this game. He doesn't in Tekken 8. So he can actually backdash into Jaguar step to really clear spacing. Oh, you know, a crucial distinction is that Forward 1 in this game is a super strong homing counter hit launching mid. -5 on block. That's no longer a counter hit launcher in Tekken 8. So that's a pretty crucial distinction in terms of homing utility. Forward 3 is stronger in this game as well. Guaranteed follow-up. Yeah, no, he's a strong character. A strong character. Armor King, you know, he's basically Tekken 8 Armor King in my opinion. Just some of the moves aren't there. Forward neutral 2 is a counter hit launcher, so that's great. But outside of that, he's like a very, very, very honest character. Just moves around, tries to get a dark upper, tries to get a whiff punish. Poke in, long range, back 4, stunner. It just doesn't do a whole lot. And he might try to chain throw you, might try to wave dash into a throw. That's it on Armor King. Yeah, And then we have Feng Wei. He was nerfed quite a bit by the end of this game, but very strong, like very strong. Of course, you saw Knee main him. God, I actually don't remember. Maybe he should be up here. I have to say, I don't remember what his final state was towards the end of Tekken 7. But he had everything. Just super all-round, the way Feng Wei has always been. But like heavy damage combos. Heavy damage combos. I mean, I don't know. He's basically the same character, I would say. But no, sorry. But everything that's nerfed about him in Tekken 8 is of course there in this game. So for example, back 4 is still a safe 12 frame homing mid, right? Back 1 does more damage in this game. Punch parry, launching punch parry has more utility in this game. God, there's multiple bullshit moves in this game that he doesn't have in Tekken 8. I can't really remember them all. Isn't while standing 1 stronger? But a very, very strong character. Very strong character. I realize I have 48 minutes left to do the rest of the cast. Jesus. I just, but that's why this is on a second channel, boys. Rambling, it never ends. Katarina. I would put somewhere here. I think most people consider her around like top 10. You can put her anywhere here, I think. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Super easy. Super brain dead. Mash buttons. Unbelievably strong. Super high damage, especially with her rage drive, low scaling on the wall. She would do like they nerfed this, but early on she would do like 80%. I'm not joking. She could do like 80%. Has everything. She's tall, long legs, has fantastic range, fantastic counter hit launchers, fantastic rush down, stance rush down. Just like this lady, just like Clive. Kick, Phoenix shift into bullshit mix. A lot of stance rush down on this character. 13 frame launcher in 4424. 13 frame natural launcher. Wall splatting throw that does 40 damage. Super good homing buttons. But just super brain dead. Super brain dead. A god-awful character to play against. Eliza... Maybe we put her here to be due to the execution requirements. Eliza... heavy execution, but honestly, is this true though? No, I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna do something like this. Very heavy execution. Built her meter twice as fast as these guys. She would build her meter. And once she had built her meter, it wasn't as devastating as these guys, and it would cap out at 2 bars like Akuma's. But when she had 2 bars, she had a low launcher and down 3, unseeable. Her lows were garbage in general, outside of if she, you'd play with walls most of the time, and as soon as she pressured you at the wall, she had a super good, safe homing mid that would wall splat, and she would mix this with her low, that would wall splat. Down 3, use a bar. Low, pop, pop, EX. 50 damage wall splat, and she resplats with 2D shenanigans, DP, a million damage, had infinite combos, with dive kicking combos. She had the craziest dive kick you've ever seen. Imagine his in Tekken 8, but it's the most bullshit thing you've ever seen. She could jump in with her 2D jump and dive kick out and then launch you. It cannot be exaggerated how cancer she was. 13 frame count with launcher in back 1-2, has a built-in mix-up. EX, invulnerability, 1 frame startup, just like Akuma. Had the special cancel, was very obnoxious with jab and everything. Had knowledge check strings going on. Had a very awkward snake edge, had a very awkward stance unblockable. She could do an EX dash. She could do a slide that, if she had a bar, turned into a launcher. So that's a slide low. Very, very toxic character. Very toxic. But very heavy execution. If you wanted to turn the down unseeable low into a launcher, you had to input her super. Very hard to do. Negan. I think Negan was very slept on. Very all-round. Very fucking bullshit. From stance, his stance was so fucking awkward. What was it called? I don't remember what the stance was called. Intimidation stance, I think. Had a million ways of getting into that stance, and from the stance he had untechable throw, unblockable, super heavy hitting low, super plus mid, huge mid launcher. I don't think we've ever seen a stance with so many options. Oh, he had the move I wanted to talk about was a 15 frame startup. You know Hwoarang's backlash? From intimidation stance, he had a baseball swing, super long range, safe on block, -9 on block, armored launcher, normal hit. I think it was homing as well. Like, it's one of the most stacked moves you've ever seen. I think he could even bound from this move. Like, it did a million fucking damage. No, it's just a joke. Super long range down for 2. Launching power crush. That's -15 on block. Super good low pokes. Great normals, you know, jab down for 1. The most consistent combos ever. They worked from back turn, they worked from the side. Heavy plus frame attacks. Great counter hit utility. Great punish. Negan was really strong. And again, super easy. Like, super easy. Miguel, super good. Super strong backdash. Again, stance. Super strong savage stance. Where he constantly loops a hatchet. Like, hatchet, hatchet, hatchet. If you ever try and duck, Savage 2 would just kill you. Was it a fucking 35 damage wall splat, safe on block, knockdown? If he hit you on counter hit with that hatchet, did it do 70 damage? Like, he got a 4-4-2-1 into down back 4. Like, it's just, this character was so slept on, man. 11 frame counter hit launcher, back 1. Geese launcher for 1 million damage. Down for 1 series strong. Infinity range 4-4 homing. Power crush. Wall bounce. Back 3-4. -14 on blocks. So obnoxious. A lot of strong string utility. But honestly, great lows, great mids. Savage, you could just insta-cancel in neutral into whatever you wanted to do. The Savage stance pressure was insane with 1-1, the 2, the multiple lows he had, right? Savage down 4-3, which was a low into a mid. To be honest, like this guy was kind of brutal, no? I think he was underrated as fuck. I think he was underrated as fuck. And pretty potent full crouch mix as well. Strong character, I think. I gotta wrap this up soon, and we have way too many characters left. Lily, let's see, very strong movement all around, strong counter hit utility, strong punish, a very strong character. For the same reasons she is strong in Tekken 8, I would say. But obviously, she's quite a bit different in Tekken 8. Strong counter hits, long range, best movement, very decent poking, very evasive, knowledge check heavy. She's Lily, and she's very solid. Asuka... it's pretty fucking strong in this game. I don't know. I mean, lacks the offensive capabilities that the character is known for today. Let's just say that. Played more defense here. Does have down 1+2 into 4-2, but it has less range with down 1+2. So not a very strong character, but very easy. Very easy. But plays mostly defense, right? Wants you to run into her buttons. Xiao Yu is not that good in this game. Very knowledge check heavy. Does the Xiao Yu routine, but lacks the offensive capabilities, and the combo damage is lackluster compared to the roster. And that puts you on Yoshi as well, who plays his Yoshi stuff. The Oki is not as brain dead and potent as Tekken 8. His conventional Tekken is not as strong as Tekken 8. He is more Yoshi in this game, but much less damage. Much less damage output. So Yoshi is also going to find himself pretty low. Leo is strong in Tekken 7. It's a strong 8 here. Probably King is somewhere around here, I would say. Strong 8 tier character. For the same reasons he is strong today, I would say. I'm not gonna make much of a comment on him as I need to wrap this up soon. Jack is not a very strong character in this game, I think. Although I had a lot of tournament success with Anakin. Remember Anakin? We haven't seen him a lot in Tekken 8. But Anakin showing Fury Ascent did very well with this character in Tekken 7, but he was never that strong. But very long range, strong backdash. 4-2 as 10 frame does a fuck ton of damage in this game when he counter hits. And then he pokes away your health bar, either from crouch or from standing. Just pokes. Safe, full crouch low and full crouch down back 1. What a powerful move. But that's it. Yeah. Oh, Kazumi is such an interesting character. She was very good initially, but I gotta say, I think she fell off pretty hard. Maybe still A tier though, when it's all said and done. Maybe she was A tier. Strong movement, has flash punch 1-1-2, does a wall splat obviously, has a Kazuya down back 4, has forward 3, safe mid launcher, Has a bullshit stance in flying mama stance where she can 50-50 with hell sweep, not knock down mid into follow up. Again, great movement. Has an untechable throw at wall splats from flying mama. Projectile tiger if she wants to. That's not that good, but it's still a projectile. Strong wall combo with the tiger ender. Strong power crush, guaranteed follow up. Some nice string utility. Back 2 was a nice homing. Downward 1-2 wall splat like Heihachi. Good range. But at the end of the day, I think she got power crept and she got nerfed very hard. Like, Arslan had a lot of success with his character, and my god, did she get nerfed. She probably got nerfed more than most characters, I think. So, I'm gonna say B. Claudio, very strong. Sorry, I had a lot of coffee. I'm just gonna take another pee break. Quick one. Apologies. And now let's see if we can wrap this up. Did I put someone else on the list that I haven't talked about? I think not. So now let's look at the final characters. So we do have Lord Shaheen here. Shaheen for me is going to be solid but not exceptional. Was he stronger in this game than he currently is in Tekken 8? Was he maybe A? Was he maybe A? I think he had good movement, a very good, one of the best down forward 2s. Very good down forward 1. Great hop kick. Oh, Claudio, I forgot to talk about. Good enough 50-50 with the slide into guaranteed follow-up. While stunning 1, guaranteed damage on counter hit. 1-2, 1+2 is very strong. Wasn't power crept super hard in this game. Some decent strings. Great combos. A very basic character, but like very solid. I think he was pretty strong. And Claudio, a question is where we put him. Claudio. He was strong though. Claudio was fucking strong. Maybe somewhere around here. Oh, was he even better than this? Back 1, of course, sidestep 4, while running 2, back 3-3. At a launching, his install, you know, the first install in Tekken was the Stardust. Well, or is it Starburst maybe? He has a low launcher in this game. That is reactable if you're lightning fast. It's kind of hard to react to, down 2-2. That's a low launcher, right? Doesn't have a DP, obviously. So in this game, we would do forward 1+2, 1+2. Which is very easy, very strong. Hop kick is insane. It's a very strong character. But I think he goes somewhere around there. Nothing too crazy, I think. Josie was not that good. Not that good, but decent enough. Very easy. Played exactly like Bruce, but saw some nerfs. Didn't have Bruce back 2, which was super strong. Elbow knee countered launcher. There's nothing really remarkable about Josie. Like most people just remember her for her tits. Like she was prototype Miarizo. Is what I've realized lately. Her and Eliza, you know, Eliza was also like this. But Josie, not that strong. Played rush down a lot. Knowledge check. Had a nice 10-frame punish. Had a nice magic 4. You know, some stuff going. Probably, at the end of the day, it was probably more effective than these guys due to having, being so easy, to be honest. And then Master Raven. Fuck, Master Raven. That's pretty strong. I wonder if she was even S tier. Which is weird to say about a Raven, right? Well, I'm gonna put her here. All-consuming black hole. Which sounds like, you know, a link to her OnlyFans, unfortunately. I don't know who came up with that name at Bandai Namco, but that was the name of her best move, which was her G-Clef 114. That with wall splat. We're going to back turn mix, right? It was like super, super powerful. Combo damage was so fucking high on this character. So fucking high. And launching 50-50 was not super fun to deal with. And then very strong poking, which remains on Raven today, right? 4-1 countered launcher. Damage 2 while standing 2, like super powerful stuff. Was a very strong character. I mean, I don't know if stronger than these guys, but oh god. But like very strong, right? Very strong. Yeah. Chloe was dog shit. Oh god. So Chloe would like knowledge check. Chloe would knowledge check. No, she would just be a toxic, like toxic waste. This is, I mean, these are the most toxic characters in Tekken history. Like they just are. Like Lydia and Tekken 8, Akuma, like they're way up there, right? But I'm just like, I gotta say, pound for pound, Tekken 7 is the most toxic roster ever. Her voice, 1, 2, 3, wee hee, lucky Chloe, wah! Like I just, you do this. Same with him. Ha 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 ha. You do this. And then their gameplay is the most toxic thing you've ever seen. You can't hit them. They're so evasive. And it's just bullshit strings and bullshit 50-50s all the time. But if you play her, no one uses this matchup because no one played her, so her win rate was insane. But, you know, she lands one Kali roll on you that's super evasive, 70% of your health bar. I'm not joking. Like death combo. She was like one of the highest damage characters in the game, and she's just some fucking J-pop dork. Make that make sense, but oh well, you know, it's Tekken, it's anime. Insufferable, but when it's all said and done, if you knew her frames and everything, not trash poking, trash moves, poor reach on a lot of key tools, and very punishable. So, you know, not a character that did well in tournaments. Didn't stop Kaiser and Yon Ding from doing okay though. Eddie. Solid, especially in defense, like sidestep 3-4, down for 3-4, that launcher. Had some decent moves. He's 50-50 strong, obviously. Back 3-3, Twitch confirmable, 13 frame counter hit launcher. Up for 4 is a good button, like down for 2 good. But outside of that, it's like very punishable, very risky. So not that good. But Yon Ding did some great things with him. Yon Ding. But better than Chloe, right? Even though she bodies him in the ending cinematics, right? And then we are on Anna. Very toxic character. That was kind of all round. You know what? I'm gonna take Nina down a notch. I don't think she belongs up there. Wait, who did I put out just now? Oh, Anna. Very toxic. String spam. Multiple stances. Just string spam constantly. Launching 50-50. Super obnoxious. But super risky. Like super risky. So constantly gambling her own health bar, but very effective in tournaments, I would say. With you know, trying to scum people out with just bullshit mix-ups and patterns. And very easy, just brain dead character. Probably around here, like inefficiency. Julia, super strong character, probably all the way up here. Very, very strong character. So Ford for the 1 is like a 12 frame elbow if executed properly. I think it's a 12 frame, like 2.5 meter elbow. If you delay it, you can make it like 3.5 meters. It's like very long range elbow mid. That is -2 on block, plus on hit, and has a follow-up, which is a counter hit launching high kick that is delayable. And that kick is like -4 on block. She also has another variation of this elbow. It's a similar-ish animation where she does Corsica forward 1, she does an elbow. And she can spin from this, and it's like +2 on block, and this spins into a 50-50, where you just guess. Where she has a hell sweep and a mid. From full crouch, you're guessing again between hell sweep and launching mid. She has a down for the 1, which is a 14 frame mid check. That's -1 on block, I think. Isn't it -1 on block? No, is it more minus? I think it's +1 on hit, on normal hit, and it's -6 on block maybe. But if that hits you crouching, that down for the 1, she gets forward 3 into while running 2-1, and I think it's like 55 damage guaranteed. And of course, this will wall splat if you're at the wall. That's pretty crazy. She also has like war drums, which is a very weird string. She does a low and a high at the same time. Or is it a low and a mid? No, it's a low and a high. Boom, at the same time. Into another punch. Or is it... No, it's 4-2-1. It's a very obnoxious input. Yeah, I think you have to plink it. Yeah, you plink it. 4-2-1. If that hits from a specific range, it's a natural 30 damage wall splatting low. It's not super fun. Infinite wall travel. Some of the best in the game. Super high damage. Super strong magic 4. Super all round. Strong throws. God, am I missing out on God buttons right now? I do have to say I've forgotten quite a bit about this character. But she is one of the best characters in the game, easily. Super strong character, and as one of the best neutrals in the game, just completely dominates the neutral. I forgot to say that 441 that sounded super stacked. It's basically homing. There's no stepping it. So like her neutral control is obscene, just obscene. Yeah, it's like early Tekken 8 Reina on steroids, I would say. Okay, I now really gotta speed up. I have 15 minutes. Let's see, we're on Lei. Lei, people are gonna hate me, but I'm gonna put him in low A. I think Asan Ali and Akon from Africa. Is he from Ivory Coast or Senegal? I think he was Ivory Coast, right? I don't want to get it wrong. Akon. He even beat Ni at Evo at one point in time. And then Asan Ali did really well with this guy in tournaments. Pakistani player. Super bullshit character. Super toxic 50-50s all the time. Like homing, infinity range, evasive hell sweep. Safe mid launchers. Razor rush. It's just the most cancerous string of all time. Goes into 50 stances. Every hit is delayable. Full screen launchers in 4-4-3. Can lie down on the ground at any point in time and just skip neutral, skip whatever you do, and then threaten you with a launching 50-50 yet again. Tiger stance, launching 50-50. Many ways of going into tiger stance. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Just monstrously cancerous character. 50-50 the character, rush down the character, string spam the character, stance spam the character. Absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. And then Fakum Ram. Fakum Ram in this game. I don't remember him being strong, no. The thing is, they nerfed the shit out of him. His 3-4, you know, counter launching mid was made unsafe. -11. He started out like here. Launch Leroy. Like, launch Leroy and launch Fakum Ram. They're up here. Right? They were boss characters on release. But they nerfed the shit out of him to the point where he almost turned into the weakest character in the game. Everything was dog shit. Like the frames, so punishable, so shit. But he could stress the shit out of you with his mix-ups. Standing free on Tekken 8 goes to Twister mix, you know, ton of options from there. In this game, he had down for 1 into Twister mix-ups as well. Where it's a 5-way variation. Take a guess, and you can do the hell sweep from there. And it is homing, the hell sweep. So, very, very stressful to play against, but at the end of the day, dog shit. Ganryu was cancer. Probably somewhere around here. Very good poking, very good rush down. Super obnoxious stance as well, with the mix-ups he had from there. Very good lows, very heavy plus lows. Down for 3 is a -12 on block. Low, that is like +5 on hit. Super good. His backswing blow was cancer. -14 on block. Super big backswing. Leads to a 50-50 that kills you. 10 frame right headbutt. 10 frame knockdown headbutt, right? I don't think I'm wrong here. Wall splats. I remember that correctly, I think. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say on Ganryu. Pretty strong 50-50 utility as well. And very long range down for 2 launcher. Very long range down for 2. But as a built-in mix, where it's unsafe on block, launchers, crouchers, but he can start doing jabs afterward. And also some strong hold the mix situations where he goes like hit, and if you try and challenge, he blows you up. And great wall travel. The strong string utility in general. And now only 2 characters left. We have Lydia and Leroy. DLC cancers. Launch Leroy was here. When you factor in difficulty, it was here. It's probably the biggest joke we've ever had in Tekken history in terms of when we release a DLC character. He was like Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat. He did everything these characters did, but twice as strong. Yeah, it was an assembly of everyone's best moves. God, he was so strong. It's funny how upset we are at Tekken 8, but it's like Season 3 of this game probably was the biggest train wreck of all time. I just think with time we've become more and more, we want more and more and better and better. I think we are more critical of games these days than we were 7 years ago. I think so. We are more critical of games today than we were six years ago. But yeah, no, this was 7 years ago, 2019, I think he drops. But with time, they nerfed him a lot, to the point where, was he even B tier? Or was he A? Still had the 12 frame launcher, still had homing hell sweep, back 4, pimp cane, stance, hermit pressure, string pressure, down back 4 is a counter hit launcher. But he got very nerfed. But I still remember him as being solid though. God, I've forgotten a lot, I have to say, but I'm gonna put him there. Lydia was strong. God, these are 2 characters I have to say I've never cared that much about. And Lydia had a period in time where she was meta in Tekken 7, but I'm trying to remember if she got huge nerfs. I think she did get huge nerfs, didn't she? They nerfed her quite a bit. Didn't she fall down into like B or something? I don't remember. It's been so many years, man. And now I'm just gonna take. I need to end this recording, so I'm just gonna take a second look at everything here to just make sure I agree with everything. And you guys are gonna say, "Oh my God, main man's downplaying. Should Kazuya really be down here?" Let's see. A perfectly played Kazuya. Can we argue he's better than these guys? We probably can. Is he better than Jack though? I'm not sure. At the I want to factor in ease of use here. Maybe Jack should go higher. Like, maybe. Maybe, right? If he's played perfectly. If he's played perfectly. You wouldn't want to play Kazuya in a tournament anyway in this game. Fuck no. Armor King. I don't know. I don't think Armor King is very good in this game. Down for 2 is a counter hit launcher, bro. Down for 2 is a counter hit launcher. Yeah, I don't know. These characters just don't stand out very much. You know what? Just B. Just B. But yeah, boys. I guess take it with a grain of salt, considering, you know, I haven't played this game, and well, I've played it for the last week or so, but it's been a while since I spent a lot of time with the game. But all in all, I think this is a pretty good representation of what power levels looked like in this game, and power scaling, how we go from S++ to D, and there really is no such thing in Tekken 8, right? So yeah, and this was now 2 hours and 50 minutes. It's the longest tier list I've done in forever. But know that this is what it's gonna look like on this new channel. I'm gonna ramble away, and I'm gonna have no restrictions on time. So anyway, I hope you guys thought this was interesting, and I hope you guys have a great day. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.